Her sister had taken over $40,000 from their retired parents. And when she looked at her across the Thanksgiving table, after 3 weeks of broken promises, after every chance to make it right, her sister didn't look guilty. She smiled, like she'd already won, like she knew exactly what she was doing and dared her to do something about it. And I promise you, this story gets so much worse. Okay, so two sisters, one family, one Thanksgiving that nobody at that table is ever going to forget for the rest of their lives. The younger sister, our girl, the one telling this story, works 60-hour weeks in healthcare. Genuinely hard work, genuinely important work, the kind of job that runs you completely into the ground. She shows up, she grinds, she does it quietly. The older sister? She's been the golden child for years. High-powered job at some prestigious firm in the city. Always the one getting the glowing toasts at every family dinner. Their parents' faces literally lighting up whenever her name comes up. Every holiday, every birthday, every casual Sunday visit. It was always about her. And the younger sister? She told herself it was fine. She was proud of her sister. She believed in her. She believed every single word. That was the first mistake. So here's where it starts to unravel. A few months ago, she's at a professional conference, just going about her day. And she runs into this guy. Turns out he's a former colleague of her sister's. Small world, right? She mentions the connection, kind of casual like you do, and his face does something. This shift, uncomfortable, caught completely off guard. And then, almost like he couldn't help it, it came out. Her sister hadn't worked at that firm in nearly 2 years. She got laid off, whole round of layoffs, gone, and she never told a single person in her family, not one person. Okay, so the younger sister goes home and she starts putting pieces together, quietly. She's not blowing anything up yet. She's just thinking, calculating. And the more she digs, the more she realizes that the omission, that's not even the worst part. For 2 full years, the same 2 years her sister had been performing the role of successful career woman for the entire family, she had been borrowing money from their parents. Not a little money, not, hey, can you cover rent this month money? Large sums, framed as investments, business expenses, opportunities. All these beautifully packaged lies designed to explain why she needed the cash and why it was actually a good thing to give it to her. She sat down and wrote it all out. Every transfer, every amount, added it up, $40,000. I'm sorry, what? $40,000 taken from two retired people, people who were not wealthy, people who had been quietly pulling from the savings they were supposed to be living on in their old age. Their security, their cushion, their retirement, slowly, quietly drained by the daughter they were so proud of, while they bragged about her to every relative who would listen. Okay, so the younger sister does not immediately burn everything down. I want you to know that. She goes to her sister first, private conversation, just the two of them. She lays out exactly what she knows, calmly, and she offers her sister a way out. 2 weeks, that's the deal. You have 2 weeks to go to mom and dad yourself, in your own words, on your own terms. I will let you have that, but you have to do it. And you'd think that would be enough, right? You'd think that would be the wake-up call, the moment where someone looks at the situation they've created and realizes it's over. Her sister cried, begged, said she'd tell them when the time was right, promised. 2 weeks passed. Nothing. Not a word, not a conversation, not even a hint that anything was coming. Her sister just waited her out. like she was betting that the younger sister didn't actually have the nerve to follow through. So she extended it. One more week, one final chance, still nothing. And then it was Thanksgiving. The whole family's at the table, good dishes out, wine poured, the warmth of the holiday in the room. Everything looks exactly like it's supposed to look. Their mother stands up to give a toast. It's beautiful, heartfelt. She talks about being proud of both her daughters, and then she mentions her older daughter's exciting new projects, the big things she's working on, how wonderful it is to watch her thrive. The younger sister looks across the table at her sister in that exact moment. Her sister looks right back at her and smiles, not nervous, not guilty, not even a flicker of shame. A smile that said, I win. You don't have the nerve. You won't do it. She set her wine glass down. And she told them everything. The layoff, the timeline, 2 years of fiction, $40,000, no screaming, no theatrics. Just the truth, laid out in the middle of the holiday table like something that had always been sitting there, waiting for someone to finally say it out loud. The room went completely silent. Her father's face drained of color. Her mother started crying, and her sister, the one who had just smiled like she'd already won, erupted, screaming across the table, called her jealous, called her vindictive, accused her of doing this for attention, and walked out before anyone touched dessert. The family hasn't been the same since, and not in some vague, things are tense kind of way, in a gutted, specific, this is going to take years kind of way. Because it's not just the money, even though the money is a real and serious problem that they are now working through with a financial advisor. It's every proud toast, every bragging phone call to relatives, every moment of joy that their parents felt, that they held on to, that was built entirely on a lie. Every single one of those memories now has something wrong with it. Their father pulled the younger sister aside later that night, quietly, away from everyone else. He said thank you, but even as he said it, he looked shattered in a way that didn't feel like relief. It felt like someone who had just learned that something he loved very much had never been real. And the older sister? She has told everyone who will listen that she was ambushed and attacked at a family dinner. Messages are coming in from people the younger sister barely knows, passive-aggressive, pointed, clearly fed one very specific version of events. An aunt told her she chose the nuclear option, that she should have been more patient, that there was a gentler way. And here's the part that genuinely got me about this story. She has actually sat with that. She's not dismissing it. She wonders whether she could have pulled her sister into another room during dinner. One final private conversation away from the table. She knows that probably was an option, but she also knows this. Private conversations had already become just opportunities to stall. 3 weeks, 3 weeks of promises, and then a smile across a Thanksgiving table like none of it was ever real. She doesn't regret that the truth came out. Her parents are retired. That money was their security. She watched them get deceived for 2 years, and she gave her sister every reasonable chance to fix it herself. But she does wonder, in the quiet, honest parts of her own head, whether some part of her wanted her sister to feel caught, not just corrected, truly, publicly caught, whether the table was chosen for justice or for impact. She doesn't have a clean answer to that. What she has is this. Her parents know the truth. They are hurt, and they are going to stay hurt for a long time. But they are no longer being robbed. So here's where I need you to weigh in. She gave her sister 3 full weeks to come clean. She was ignored every single time. And then her sister sat across the Thanksgiving table and smiled at her like she'd already won. Was revealing everything right there, right then, at that dinner, was that justified? Or did she go too far? Drop your verdict in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you land on this one because our team was split. Next up, a story that made our entire team go completely speechless. We're talking a betrayal so layered, so deeply calculated that when the ending hit, nobody said anything for a full 30 seconds. You do not want to miss it. Subscribe so you never miss a single drop of drama. Stories shared on this channel are inspired by real experiences posted online. All details have been anonymized and rewritten. Any resemblance to specific individuals is coincidental.